Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Hub World podcast. Today, we're going to talk about this morning's, Super Smash Bros. Broadcast, the final fighter. So, I'm Jules, and today I'm joined by.
Mateo?
And Geno, what's up?
And it's a special day to be a Smash fan.
Well, every day
It's
it's a
been-
special day to be a Smash fan.
Totally, but like today was like special.
It was
it's
very
been,
bittersweet.
Oh, completely. It's been like a long development cycle. 10 years if you count the Wii U game as well, which has been one continuous series of announcing new fighters and doing new things with the game, and it all culminated in this. How did you guys feel going into this broadcast? What were you nervous? What were you feeling?
Honestly, I don't know what to feel anymore. Like it was definitely very difficult just knowing that this was the last announcement. This is the last we're going to see of Mr. Sakurai for at least a while. But then again, that's what we thought about like when Bayonetta was announced for Smash Bros for 3DS and Wii U, right? Like, oh, here's our roster for the next 5-10 years. And then 2 years later we got the ultimate announcement. So just like, I don't know, maybe there's another Smash Bros in the work that we don't know about yet, but
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be nice, but Sakurai needs a break.
That's
damn it.
very wishful
He
thinking.
needs a break.
Yeah, I think with that,
Yeah.
we know that we're only halfway through the Switch's lifespan, and I don't think Nintendo would do another Smash on Switch, especially after how big this one was. Like they're gonna have to do a pretty big overhaul for whatever comes next.
Yeah.
But I was definitely
Yeah.
feeling nervous. Like I went into this feeling very much like it doesn't matter what's announced here because I'm just happy to see Sakurai say his final goodbye. So I wasn't really expecting much in terms of being satisfied from anything today.
Mhm.
Well, before we start off, I do want to say, called it. All of us called it since the very beginning of the podcast. It wasn't Geno.
It was not Geno, and today this episode is kind of serving as our final farewell, which I think we should close with that farewell. But that's coming up in this episode, so if you stick around and you're a
Yeah.
Geno fan, you
But
will hear.
You already know the good news, at least from our
Well-
perspective.
my kind of thing going into this direct this morning was basically I knew the leak, but those types of things could always be wrong. But like I just wanted to go in. I wanted there just to be a big announcement. I wanted them to end with a bang, and they sure did. Like they played the biggest card that they potentially could have, or one of them
Yeah.
at least. So
And I think we're going to go over that. So the video is about to start here. So what we're going to do for you is we're going to play it twice, and we're actually going to kind of walk you through our reactions because Gino and Mateo were together. I was on my own. So I can go first and kind of explain how I was feeling throughout the trailer. And then we'll kind of just continue the discussion after that. By the way, if you want to hear what our impressions were for every new fighter, we did just have a special Smash Bros. Episode, which you can check on YouTube. We'll talk a little bit more about that after, but the trailer is about to start, so I'll walk you through where I was kind of at for today's announcement. So I'm just waiting for it to start. So at this point, Sakurai just shown the Doom guy, Mii Fighter. My friends like Mateo knew the leak and they knew who I wanted in Smash. So they kind of did a little bit, even though I saw that Sora was rumored, I didn't really look too much into it. And my friends did a very good job of hiding it. But anyway, I thought it was going to be Halo. So when I saw the Smash logo, I was fully intending for it to turn into the Halo ring while it was in Inkling's eye reflection, and then for Master Chief to just drop down, because that's kind of the rhetoric that like Joe and Mateo were feeding me last night. And I think Joe might have felt like Master Chief was actually coming, but Mateo, I'm not sure where you felt, but I felt like it was kind of like to to pull me in
I-
another direction.
Yeah, I was completely sold by this Disney music leak. So
Yeah. So like I was being pulled in this other direction. So when the fire fell, I knew it wasn't Master Chief. I was like, who the fuck could this be? And I was expecting just somebody random. And I like honestly like Sora didn't even cross my mind because he doesn't really have anything to do with fire. And then I remember just watching this and being like, who is this? And then the Mickey Mouse symbol, and I don't even know what came over me. Like I was just like in shock. And then the keyhole hits and the music starts playing, and I just started to like weep. And it was like a complete emotional response where I was just so overwhelmed with this was happening because I came into this expecting literally nothing and not caring who this fighter was. And then it ended up being my like all time like most wanted, never thought it would ever actually happen in Smash character, despite the
Mhm.
fact that I knew the rights around Sora were difficult. And I was like, I just like everything other than that rumor, which again, like I didn't really read, would have told me that Sora was not happening. Sephiroth was in the game in this past, so we already got a Square fighter. There were rumors that Disney had asked for Sora and Disney said no, and or Nintendo had asked for Sora and Disney said no. And man, I'm still
Still
in
kind of
shock.
like,
I'm not
yeah.
even hyped. I'm just in shock. But we can go back and kind of play. Like I want to hear about your guys' experience with it. So I'm going to kind of rewind here, um, away from Ariel and Mermaid Sora all the way back to the beginning of the trailer. So what was your guys' experience with this one like?
Oh
so
gosh, yeah.
well,
Mateo already knew
yeah.
about the leak, and he was already sold on that.
Hmm.
I purposely stayed away from anything Smash Bros related. I stayed away from Reddit. I stayed away from like even when Mateo and Joe were talking spoilers and stuff, I actually would leave the Discord group and I just would not engage. So um it was just it was just a shock. Honestly, like when I saw the Smash Bros logo um kind of like peter out and just turn off and everyone kind of turned into plastic and stuff here. I was getting like mega Dark Souls vibes because like, oh, okay, fire represents life in the Dark Souls world and your character is the last little like kindling of hope. It's like, okay, do you reignite the fire with your soul or do you end the cycle of life and death? And when I saw this Mario reaching towards the bonfire, right? I'm like, oh, okay, so there's maybe some Dark Souls vibes and stuff here, right? But I'm like, it's also way too dark. And then like Mario does this fire whip thing, and I didn't know what to make of it. And then
You
I
can
saw
vaguely see
Mickey,
the
and
Keyblade
I saw
in
the lucky emblem, and I'm just like, holy crap!
the Lucky emblem.
The lucky
Is
emblem.
it? I'm like, and I'm thinking, okay, is it gonna be Sora? Is there gonna be like someone different? Because like we got Min Min, right? Like you never know. Like it could have been anyone that came through the keyhole, right? And then like, okay, Sora, this is great. And then I found myself instantly thinking, okay, well if Sora is here, where is Riku?
It's Riku. And so was this whole time then, Mateo, were you just like so sold that it was Sora that nothing wavered like that belief
Well,
in you?
the discussion Joe and I had yesterday was like, well, it's possible that maybe this like the person that leaked it didn't know exactly what was gonna be like representing like what Sora was gonna be, whether it was an actual playable character or a Mii costume, because like Sora very well could have had a Mii costume like Doom Guy did, and
With
he could
a
have
music track?
paid the rights to play the music track over top that, and it could have been anyone. But no, the person doubled down, said no, the playable character is Sora. So that was my expectation going into it. But like Gino said, I did not get. There was no inclination that this was going to be Sora, and literally until you see the Keyblade. But so I was pretty well sold that we were going to get Sora no matter what. But the thing that I really liked though was the fact that they brought the trailer back to the beginning of the
Yes.
Smash Ultimate
Yes.
journey with Inkling and the flaming Smash Ball and like all the characters there. Like that was such a cool moment to end
Yeah.
And
the
I think
cycle.
when I think about it, like when I actually think about it, because like like I said, I got really, really emotional, and like I'm gonna psychoanalyze myself a little bit here. I think part of what made that special, because I remember like watching the trailer, and like one of the thoughts I had after was like, wow, that trailer like really had nothing to do with Sora, you know.
Oh, you just
Um,
wait.
but
The
but but that's the thing is,
extended trailer.
but no, but I not that I watched like, but like I'm not. I meant like the trailer, like the cinematic leading up to him, really didn't
Oh
have
yeah,
anything to do with him.
yeah.
But in retrospect, thinking about it and thinking about what Sakurai tells us later, right? Like Sora was the winner of the Smash ballot. Like Bayonetta was the one where he was like, "Hey, like she's the most realizable. Like she wasn't the top character, but she's the best we can do." Kind of now. Like he's like, no, like Sora won the ballot. Like he 100% was the number one character
Mhm.
worldwide. And I'm realizing that the point of that trailer was not to showcase Sora. The point of that trailer was to be a love letter to the fans. It was saying, like, you've been on this long journey. We're taking you right back to the beginning where Inkling saw everybody. And all the characters are there waiting for the last fighter, the one that was most requested by fans some 6, 7 years ago when they did the Smash ballot. It was like they were waiting for him. Like they're like, this is the end of our journey. This is the last time we will ever have 89 characters in the game, and we're just waiting for that last one.
Yep.
And it was Sora because he was the one asked for. And that's what makes it so special, is because I don't feel like this character, even though I personally love Sora. I know it's a personal thing to me, but I think for all Smash fans, this was never about Sora. Like Sora's a big deal in himself, but I think the biggest thing to come out of this presentation for me isn't that it was Sora, it's that the character was the ballot character. Like that made this so special
Hmm.
that like Nintendo like listened and they fought for 7 years to get rights from Disney to put the character that the fans asked for. Like they
Yeah.
made the impossible happen with Microsoft. They made the impossible happen with Square-Enix. Like they made the impossible happen so many times, and they even got Disney to agree to this because that's how much Sakurai gave a shit about his fans. And it's like anybody who thinks that Sakurai's fans are too much is wrong. Like there's a reason people like Sakurai. It's because he does shit like this.
Yeah. And I think he went over it in this one as well, right? Like, or at least later on it was revealed that like this like Smash Ultimate was the last thing that Satoru Iwata asked him to do, and that's why I think Sakurai gave so much of a shit when it comes to this game. It's because this is like him trying to like honor his friend.
Yeah, I think so. And that's what I think makes this whole project special. And like in our retrospect, so um like we for those of you who don't know, we just watched all the
Sakurai and his posters.
newcomer trailers and yeah, Zach Reynolds posters are hilarious. But we just watched all of the newcomer trailers before this, and like looking at that journey of like where we were at, like when Smash Wii U started, and this was only 10 years ago. This was only one game before, where the roster was like half the size, less than half the size when it started. Like the characters we were going this nuts for were characters like Mega Man. And I'm not saying Mega Man isn't a big deal, but thinking about Mega Man now, he wouldn't be a big deal now because of how much has been accomplished since. Like Cloud was such a big deal, Banjo was such a big deal, and like this is the biggest deal. That's the thing, is like we already know that Microsoft is playing nice with Nintendo, so I feel like even if Master Chief was the character, as big as that would be, it's almost like the corporate barriers wouldn't have been as impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like Master Chief is something that I think Nintendo could, like a character Nintendo could easily get the rights to. It's just like they, I think, would be the ones that would be the like Nintendo themselves would be the ones to need convincing to get Master Chief in Smash Bros. Like
Agreed.
because just because of
He's
the
Western.
genre and right, like stuff like that. But yeah, Sora, because like Sora the character is owned by Disney, and then Kingdom Hearts is developed by Square Enix, and then the music's its own. Like the characters are one thing, the music has different composers. The composers might have rights to the songs. Disney's involved there, Square's involved there. So like, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
Kingdom
moving
Hearts
parts,
music,
a lot of right holders. It's just
it
a
is messy. It
yeah.
is
So,
messy.
but
I just still
I
can't believe this. Oh my god.
like
And like that was
the
part of the reason why Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 could never get redone, is because I think it was to do with Simple and Clean. The the lady the singer, she owns the digital rights, and for whatever reason it was not in their contract to they like you couldn't get the game because of that, because of some kind of distribution thing, because
Yeah,
of Simple and Clean. And it
yeah,
took forever to get the Kingdom Hearts remastered games out, right? And then even just to get them, like you had to release them on a physical copy, and they couldn't be done
yeah. They couldn't
on
be done
like
digital.
PlayStation's East. Yeah, they couldn't be done because of rights and stuff, and it was just a mess.
Yeah, and to think like how far not only Nintendo came, but also Disney, because like Kingdom Hearts was also in a weird place. I'd say leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3 and a little bit after Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, because Kingdom Hearts 3 was definitely like it definitely succeeded. But like even when you look at like the corporate barriers that existed within Kingdom Hearts, like there were even points where people thought like, hey, like Kingdom Hearts is trying to shed Disney in the event that they need to. And to think that not only is Kingdom Hearts like stronger than ever now, it's also like Sora's in Smash. Like that's I still can't believe that I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Well, like
just
even
incredible.
yeah, and like even with this game as well, this is the first big announcements. Like Kingdom Hearts is having its 20-year anniversary, right? And like this is the first big announcement, and the next big announcement that happened during this same presentation, Sakurai says, "Yeah, we're getting all the Kingdom Hearts games coming to Nintendo Switch as
yeah,
Yeah.
but
well."
that is
I
there's a
know
huge
that's like not
asterisk on that
Yeah, there's a
because
huge asterisk. Yeah.
it's
because
just the screen and stuff, right?
all the games, including like like
The
I
first
would
one.
understand if Kingdom Hearts 3 was the only one that was on cloud streaming, but all the games are cloud stream games,
Yeah.
even the ones that the
Oh,
Switch can definitely
Well,
run.
here's the reason
So
I think they did that. I think the reason they did that, like in like thinking about it, I was like, well, Kingdom Hearts 3 had to be a cloud game. It cannot run on a Switch.
and also the
And
prologue or whatever it
yeah,
was,
and that's the thing is so the second collection 2.8 would also have to be a cloud game because just because of 0.2 being in Kingdom Hearts 3's engine, which means that the only one that wouldn't have been a cloud game would have just been the 1.5 plus 2.5 collection. But
which realistically would have been the one that probably sold the best. So
yes,
I don't.
realistically, yes. But I think the reason they did it is because in their minds they were like, well, why would we waste development time porting just one of them when we like if people want to play the whole series they're going to have to jump on the cloud thing anyway for the other two. Just let's not waste time on it and just make all three to cloud. Because I'm sure it's much easier to do the
yeah,
cloud
Yeah.
service than to do a port, right?
Hmm.
yeah. But still, like I'm like just looking at this, like Mateo, this must have been what you felt with Banjo.
I mean,
Like this, just like
it was a party when Banjo got announced. Like
we had a
for
cake.
weeks, it was like the Banjo. Like I watched that trailer, every single day until he came out, and then like I went through weeks whereas Banjo was the only character I played as in Smash Bros. Just because like
Mhm.
I still I still get goosebumps. Like I'm just getting talking about it right now. I'm getting
Yeah,
goosebumps. Just like
and
my most wanted character since Smash 64 got into the game,
yeah,
and he's my favorite character from my favorite game of all time. So like the attachment is deep between me and Banjo. But um just the thing is like Sora is just I feel like like I've I joke around about Kingdom Hearts all the time, but I really respect the franchise. I'm a huge Disney fan, and like I probably would never. Well, actually, I shouldn't say never, but like right as of now, I don't have the motivation to play those games. But I watched Geno play 3. I enjoyed that experience. I just really like it's Smash Bros. Sakurai is going to like play through all the games before he builds the character, and these character like all the especially the DLC characters, they're so true to the source material.
yeah.
Like Sora has 5 alternate costumes, all his like main designs, and then
Well,
the
they're not alternate costumes. They just have different poses um in the UI, but they're actually the same thing.
no,
Technically,
no,
the
but like
only alt is
yeah,
timeless.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like
all
his
textures.
his his costumes from all the his appearances in Kingdom Hearts,
Hmm.
like his main costumes, and then yeah, the Timeless River costume, and then um honestly, I'm not surprised. People are talking. I've seen a lot of conversations online about like, oh, why like there's no Mickey, Donald, Goofy. There's no like references to uh other like Disney properties and stuff. But like honestly, I think I like for me, I knew if Sora were to get into the game, this is the way I thought it was going to be
Yeah,
because
there was
they
never going to
probably
be
had to move
Disney.
heaven and earth just to get Sora in the game.
Yeah,
To get Mickey Mouse, who's probably like one of the most iconic characters of all time. The character they protect the most. That's their brand. I
yeah,
don't know what like, Nintendo would have had to give like a friggin' kidney or something to
yeah.
to Disney to get that right.
Well,
Yeah.
the funny thing is, um, this had a lot of good moments in this broadcast, and later on this happens from where we are now. But there's one point when he's talking about the Hollow Bastion stage, and Sakura just name drops Maleficent, and
Yeah.
I laughed. I thought it was
Hmm.
so funny. I'm like, that's hilarious that he's talking about a Disney character
Hmm.
in this broadcast.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing is like I know Kingdom Hearts like at its core is a crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney. Um, but I do feel like it's gained its own identity since then.
Hmm.
And like I think like and this is just me, I think just the aesthetic of Sora and his, Mickey Mouse keychain on
Hmm.
his key, I think that's enough to represent the Disney. Like what are
I'm
you gonna
even
do?
surprised we got that. I thought
Yeah.
they would have
Well,
just put the Smash Bros symbol on the keychain, or make the Keyblade the like look like a Smash Bros version of the Keyblade, like how in
then
Kingdom
That
it
would
wouldn't
have
Hearts,
be
been
the
cool.
Keyblade. It
right?
loses. Like the thing is though, the Kingdom Key is iconic,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
and it
So
had to be 100% perfect. Like if they had the Smash Bros logo on there, I would understand why, because like you don't want to have like, okay, the Mickey ears and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah. Like
Like I can understand why
even
Disney would want to
referencing
protect that.
Mickey Mouse or a greater Disney universe or whatever is gonna make people it's going to justify people's requests for saying, "Oh, Mickey Mouse should be playable in the next Smash Bros. Game," and then that's going to snowball and say, "Oh, Shrek and SpongeBob and Goku and all
No, no,
these
no.
like
Goku has history on video
n
games.
non-original, non-video game characters being in Smash Bros." And that's what I was just so afraid of with Sora. But seeing what we're seeing here, it comforted me to think that okay, that's actually not what's going to happen because like realistically Sora's probably never going to be in another Smash Bros. Game again, just because of like how seemingly difficult it was just to get him in this. But I could be wrong because like we all thought Cloud was that way in in Smash 4, but I think that at least the sacred like Smash Bros being a video game exclusive series is very sacred to me. I feel like the sanctity of that is going to be preserved in future
Yeah.
installments.
I think so
So,
too, especially because in future installments, the roster is likely going to shrink.
mhm,
Um, and I think they're going to have to do something different than just using characters to build the hype, but who knows, right?
mhm,
Um, it is very hard to imagine where they can go from here. And like I think that was Sakurai's intention, to be honest. Like I really do think that they've been holding on to this Sora card for a while. Like I don't know when um like I was saying to Mateo earlier actually this, but I'll share it on the podcast. I'll share it with you, Gino.
Yep.
Um I obviously like even if they saw Sora as the winner of the ballot back in Smash 4, even if they didn't light Ultimate, I don't think Sora was ever going to be the character they put in because I don't think they would have been able to get the rights that fast. And I also don't think that Disney would have been willing to give the rights for Sora on what was a dying console like the Wii U. Like what would have been the benefit? What would have been the exposure?
mhm.
Um,
The audience
but
wasn't big enough
it
on
wasn't.
Wii U.
It just wasn't right. But I feel like at some point, like even back, I think at the very least, Sora was planned to be the fifth fighter in the original pass before it was extended. And like Sora's been in the plans for a while, but Sakurai was very adamant about he's the final character. Like he is no matter how if we do 4 or 5 passes, Sora's the last one. Like he has to be. I think that was Sakurai's intention completely. And like we're talking kind of about a bit about like old leaks, like that Vergeman guy who got everything right. The only 2 things he didn't get right were he said there was supposed to be Minecraft content and another Square character. And we all assumed it was Hero because once the DLC got announced, he said, "Oh, I've now heard it's Hero." But what if that Square character was Sora? What if the last character on the base roster was also intended to be Sora? Until they decided to make DLC. And then they're like, okay, let's push him to DLC. And then they kept pushing him. But the other joke, on the other hand, maybe it wasn't the case. And Sakurai was so dead set on having Sora be in the game because Iwata wanted that he just kept making characters until they could convince Disney to say yes. And he would have made another like 7 fighters passes if Disney had said no until he got the green light.
I
The
wouldn't
thing
be
is,
surprised if
I
like
feel
Disney
like
gets all the
approaching
money
Disney. Yeah.
just generated from Sora in this game. Like Disney would get like all the money for people that only buy Sora, and then like 1/6 of all Fighter Pass 2 sales went to Disney. I
Well,
would not be surprised.
I don't know if that's going to happen with that. With it could, um, but definitely if there's an amiibo, I think the only way Nintendo's negotiating a Sora amiibo is to basically say like, we'll produce it. You can have all the costs, and I feel like Nintendo would like all the profits because I feel like Nintendo would do that because they know their fans and they're like, yeah, they'll be pretty choked if we don't have just one. So even if we have to give 100% of the profits of the Sora amiibo toward like to Disney, like it's worth it just to keep the fans happy.
Hmm.
What if the Sora amiibo is like a Disney park exclusive thing?
Guess
Oh
I
where we're
don't think
gosh.
they
going
would
then?
ever. I don't think they would ever do that.
Guess where
It's
we're
okay.
going?
Or maybe the plan was to push the, you know, $30 plus premium song DLC of buying Melody of Memory.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think
But
it's ridiculous, but I hope that Sakurai will update the game in like a few months, similar to how he's updated with like spirits that have had like game tie-in things and just add it for everybody.
Yeah,
Because I
maybe.
still think there will be patches. I still think there will be patches because
Oh,
I
100%.
can't imagine they would just release Sora and never patch it. Like I think there will be a couple more balance patches, like maybe one or two
Hmm.
after Sora. So they could do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I could see them doing something like that, maybe. But like, hmm.
So we're at this one point of the thing that I
Yep,
want to talk
Riku is
about.
here. Riku
So
is right
yeah, so
here.
we see Sora.
Riku is
This,
right
by the way,
here.
I would actually I'll talk about this after because I'll talk about what I was gonna say after. But so here, like, yeah, then they show the dive to the heart. They show Sora. Riku is here, right?
And Riku is here.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. They're gonna put all the characters. And then I see Roxas. I was like, yeah, Roxas. Like, I was so hyped. And then Shion, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they're doing everybody. And then you start to see Terra, and you see Ventus, and then you see Aqua, and I'm like, okay. And now where's Kyrie? And they just move on. And I was like, what poetic accuracy Sakurai has to embrace the spirit of shafting Kyrie, much like the source material.
What are you talking about? There's a picture of Kyrie directly behind Sakurai.
You're hilarious.
I
But
kind
I
of,
was
I kind of
actually
hope. Oh, go
no.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I kind of hope they're like, what's that area like that place called again?
Dive to the
The
heart.
Yeah, I
Hollow
kind of
Bastion.
hope that there's an option to just only have the dive to
Yes.
the heart area as the stage,
You just
and
have to
like
play on
not
one
go to
stock.
yeah, because I kind of don't want to go to
Yeah.
like Hollow Bastion's cool and all, but like
I feel like it should have turned into from Hollow Bastion into the oh gosh, what does it turn into? The Radiant Garden, and then that would have been nice where like the stage, like you see Kingdom Hearts appear and then it just turns into the other one. That would have
Yeah.
been cool.
See, I like. I also feel like I would have liked Dive to the Heart. Like I wanted Dive to the Heart to be the stage, and when I saw Hollow Bastion, I was actually pretty disappointed. I was like, that's not a great stage. And then when it changed Dive to the Heart, I got really hyped. But I agree. I wish there was an option. I feel like the reason they didn't do it is because they would have felt like, oh, people might think that this stage is very bland if it's just like a platform with pictures in the back. So they
yeah,
tried to make it a little different. But like at the same time, what I like about Dive to the Heart, if it was the only version of it, I'm okay with it changing to Dive to the Heart, but that feels like a final Smash stage because it to me it feels very similar in vein to like a Final Destination. It's completely neutral, has one platform, and if it was just in the Dive to the Heart sanctuary, it would have felt like this is the last stop on your journey. Which I guess the spirit of that is still there because if you're on your last stock, you go there,
hmm
right?
Yeah. And this is also the last new stage.
Yeah, exactly, right. So
But yeah,
it
I do agree that if it was just this, then I feel like it would have been boring, and then they could have, like, for instance, they could have had a stage hazard where like the giant heartless would just like the big heartless dudes would just like show up, or like the tornado of the little heartlesses and like
yes,
just show up. Like it could have been that as well.
yeah. Now what do you guys think of his moveset?
Moveset looks pretty good, honestly. Like I like how it's all like floaty and stuff. It's like the character itself is very much based off of Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora, right? So like he has his kind of like Mickey Mouse, literally his Mickey Mouse costume, like with the yellow shoes, the red shorts, and not nearly enough zippers, but you know, this isn't 2006 anymore.
Now, what
um,
can I just? I'm going to interject you really quick,
Yeah,
just to notice a few things here. So first of all, the fanfare is cool, and I love
yeah.
the logo they used, which is the crown instead of the actual heart from Kingdom Hearts.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you caught what just happened at the end of that video, but this is something I actually missed. So I was during this, I had to make coffee because I had to go to work. So the time I chose was when he was just doing the generic battle because I was like, oh, I won't miss anything. You already showed off all the moves. So Adrian actually told me about this, my roommate, after, and he's like, it's so cool that they have that finisher. I'm like, what do you mean, the fanfare, like the end? He's like, no, the finisher. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, if you win the fight with Sora, it does like that slow motion into the blinding white light thing
Yeah.
that happens when you beat a boss in
that
Kingdom
was a
Hearts.
really
And I
nice
was like,
touch.
what? I was like, because I was like, I didn't even know that. And then, because they showed that in the end trailer, but I thought that was just a visual of the trailer. And when I found out that that was like in the game, I was like, holy, Sakurai is a god.
Those types of
Did
details.
you notice who they did it with?
Sephiroth.
Exactly. Sephiroth is always the hardest boss in the game.
Mhm.
False, but he is one of the hardest bosses, for sure.
Yeah.
He's not as hard as what's that one that's brutal? Lingering Will, I think. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. My only thing is like his mobility is insane. Like you could, I know, like the thing that offsets his insane mobility and recovery is the fact that he's probably one of the lightest characters in the game, and he can be KO'd really easily at a low percentage. Or
Oh,
so
Riku is here too.
Yeah, Riku is here. So is
that's
Roxas.
my only worry.
He's the legend.
But I mean, I feel like this is obviously an earlier build of the game. It's been balanced a little more since, and it's going to be probably balanced more in the future, so that if they do have issues with that, that's something they'll patch. But I don't know. I think Sora looks incredible. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
He's a
a
very
little
good
disappointed
ending.
he didn't release today,
hmm
but we gotta wait. What's another
Yeah,
like
what's another
couple
10
weeks,
days?
right?
Yeah. And
Whatever it is.
honestly, it gives us enough time to finish Metroid Dread.
Yes. And then it doesn't
Metroid
compete
Dread
with
like 4 times
and
until Sora comes out. So
and then it doesn't
I'm-
compete with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, you know?
Yeah.
Nintendo just completely one up that game today.
I
They
feel
even need to
so
release
bad.
any content.
I feel so bad for that game. Like just side note, like we just played it because I bought it. We might do a little video on it later, maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Either way, I feel so bad because even though the game is questionable, like those developers put hard work into trying to make their best possible like Nickelodeon fighting game with the budget they had, and they released this game that they've done a really good job of marketing and getting people interested in. And what does Nintendo do? Overshadows their entire game with the biggest Smash character announcement they've pretty much ever had.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, there's your Smash clone game. Here's fucking Sora from Kingdom Hearts in
Pretty
our
much.
game. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah. But this actually passed by a little earlier in the trailer, but we got confirmation that they're making more amiibo. There's going to be Steve and Alex will be coming out in the spring. You can buy them individually or in a double pack, which is really cool. And
I'm
I
really
assume
tempted.
they're going to do
Yeah.
that with Pyra and Mithra as well.
Yeah,
Will they be a double pack or will
probably.
they be on the same amiibo stand, do you think?
they're
No,
they're separate.
they're separate, but you can buy them together
I
in
think
one
so.
package.
I think you will. Yeah.
And there was that little bit of uncertainty when we had the Mr. Sakurai presents for Kazuya. But like we said earlier, they didn't mention anything about Sora, which is a little nerve-wracking for me because I have the Smash Bros set. So like, I'm a completionist. I want to have at least one amiibo of all the characters. And if there's not one for Sora, then I don't know. I don't want to go down like the custom amiibo route or anything like that because that could be very pricey. But because I just want to give them my money, and if my money's not good enough for them, then I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm really, really tempted to
I'm
get
telling
like
you guys right now. Wait, hold on.
Oh.
He just said if you keep working on something, someday it'll be complete. Those words I'm going to frame and use to quote every single time our very personal film project that I won't speak the name of on this podcast gets
yeah,
turned down for its 4th installment. That's what Sakurai told me. If you work hard to on something, you'll complete it one day too.
Yeah.
hmm
Holy cow. Yep. Oh, that'll be
Interrupted you.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun if we eventually do get back to that.
Yeah, that
But
would
yeah,
be.
what I was
So
gonna say is I was really I'm really actually tempted when the Steve Amiibo comes out just to get like a few extra ones and like make my custom Minecraft character and just paint over it.
You should. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be like someone online that'll like offer that service.
Now, Sakurai did a really good job of just like making this a celebration. Like, I love how he's like telling us all these stats at the end. Like, this really, like, I don't think this broadcast could have gone better. Like,
Mhm.
he did such a good job. It was so emotional. It was such a homecoming. It was so bittersweet. Um, I think it's just, and like, even the fact that like Sora is a character that travels between game worlds or between worlds of like it makes me feel like he's connected to Smash, and I'm so excited to see what they do with his classic mode, because my personal hope for it is I hope that Sakurai, I don't think he would make it this special, because I think if it was this special he would have actually shown it in the direct, or in the broadcast. But my dream is that they'll have him going through all the game worlds accompanied by Duck Hunt.
yeah, that'd actually be funny because
That would be really funny because Goofy's a dog and Donald's a duck.
Yes, and if it doesn't happen, I will be so disappointed. But I think it would be cool if he goes through the major game worlds. Like, he goes to Mario's world and he fights like Mario, Peach, Luigi, and Bowser, and he goes to Zelda, and like he goes to like each stage would actually be like almost like All-Star mode was back in Brawl.
Well,
Yeah.
what if Sora's classic mode has like, because Kingdom Hearts, you would go to the Disney World. Just say you go to the Aladdin world, and then Aladdin's like a party member on your team
Oh,
when you go through there. So like, what if you go through the Mario world? Mario is a party member. He's
and
on
Duck
Sora's
Hunt.
team, and then you fight like Bowser Jr. Like you'll fight the Koopalings or whatever. Like maybe they'll put 8-player games or something in the classic modes just to like flesh out the world that Sora's in as much as possible.
Mii Fighters with hoods.
Stuff like that. Just like
Everybody in their black costumes so that it's like darkness took their hearts and they're their heartless forms.
Oh gosh.
yeah. I wish Sakurai explained the heart BS at the beginning. At least attempted to it. It would have been hilarious. They could have had a really
I don't
funny
think it would
joke
have been
there.
possible.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
obviously not
Yeah.
possible. Would have been a funny joke. But he's like, yeah, that he did say the Kingdom Heart games are like, it's a lot to get through them.
Yes,
So
it is.
he
I mean,
did
they're long
mention that, which
games,
is
and there's a lot of games, and they're on so many different consoles. And now when you factor in the mobile games and the
Yeah, and
rhythm
they all
game,
play differently except for like the main series ones.
and hey, I would be surprised if Nomura ain't throwing Kingdom Hearts lore into Smash Bros with Sora. Like, I
Oh
could see
gosh.
Sora in the next game, like waking up and being like, "I went to the strangest world where I made so many friends and we sparred together, and now I'm a real hero."
Oh gosh. Of course, I always found like this part here where like Sora's kind of like flying around like Tinkerbell. I thought that that part was weird, but it's
Oh,
very Sora.
I just realized something.
What?
what?
In the intro trailer, in this trailer, all of the characters lost their hearts, and Sora came to return them.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah, they were all dead because like they had lost hope. Smash is over, and
Shit.
Sora's like, not over. I'm here.
What if this game is so accurate? Like, Sakurai is so accurate to this series that what happens is, because Sora used the power of waking to bring back 88 other hearts, we're only going to get him for like 2 days and then he's going to disappear from the roster. Just like in the lore of the game when he used the power of waking too much and then he disappeared.
He's gonna disappear in the next game. He'll be in this one
No, did the
forever.
Door to Darkness have a symbol on it? It was the Kingdom Hearts logo, right?
I don't think that was the Door to Darkness. I think it was just like a door that was modeled after the Door to Darkness. It didn't look tall enough to be the Door to Darkness.
What else could his final smash have been? Like, what about the pirate ship?
I actually like his
told
final
Geno-
smash.
I
I just
told
like
I wanted the hype train or at least we call it the hype train, the finishers from that are based on like the theme park attractions in
Yeah,
Kingdom
Big
Hearts
Thunder
3.
Mountain. Big Thunder Mountain was the hype train too.
I love this extended trailer, by the way.
Yeah, I did
Especially
too.
the scene where he like goes
Yeah, like
through all the worlds.
Yeah, and then at the end here where he handshakes Mario
Yep.
with all the characters behind him.
Yep. That
Walking.
everyone's saying that that's wallpaper material right there.
Oh yeah, I already have it downloaded. But yeah, so the video is kind of
Right.
over now, so I'll just kind of leave it.
Copyright Disney. The end, you'll always see
So
that.
I'm just gonna leave until we finish our discussion. I'll leave it on a picture of Sora and Mario shaking hands, like we said, wallpaper material.
It is so good.
This
photo
I
is
love it.
so nice.
It's so nice. And the thing that's nice about it, again, it's like I loved Banjo, and I love Banjo's reveal, but I think the only thing that soured Banjo's reveal compared to this one, I think that this is ultimately what put Sora over the top of Banjo for me, is because Sora was the last one, and it was not only a celebration of him, but a celebration of all the characters being there for him. And it's like if Banjo was the last character right now, and this was the first time, like let's pretend Steve was never announced, and Banjo was coming and he was the last character, and they did this for him, I probably would have had the exact same response, right? Like I think it's the mixture of not only was it like the big feat and a character we all loved and wanted and respected, but it was like that piece, and that's what I love about that picture is it's not that Mario and Sora are shaking hands, it's that like there's like all the characters there, and they're like, oh, look who it is.
Everyone is here, but Riku wasn't in that picture. Riku was not there, but he is in Sora's heart.
But yeah, so
We're gonna have to start shopping around for a Smash Bros. Banner now. A complete one.
I've already tried looking. It's
and you know what we're also going to
find.
have to do is well, I'm assuming this is the end of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Again? No, wait. We got to plug a little bit before we get to pulling out the cord.
Yep.
Okay. So the first plug we're gonna let you know about is we hope you've enjoyed this discussion. We still have a little bit more, but we did what we are doing now on a much smaller scale for every single newcomer that has been announced since Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. In our last video, our Super Smash Bros. Special, it was on Spotify. It's not one of our episodes. It's a special episode. You can listen to it there, but and on Apple Music and Google. What are the other things we're on?
It's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Sorry. But we recommend that if you are going to watch that one, like go to YouTube, because then you can follow along with the videos. It'll probably make it way cooler.
It's a longer video, so it is good to, like, if you have a snack or a cup of coffee and you're just listening to it before you go to bed or something. It is a longer one, but it's definitely worth it. And we do go into like sharing our personal journey through the past almost decade.
Yeah, it was definitely a very personal journey for us.
Yeah.
So we hope you listen to that. That's actually going to, and the second plug, because there's multiple plugs, is that and this and a couple other things are going to be part of a special Super Smash Bros. Kind of event or celebration on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. We can't really group them together because some of the episodes are going to be actual episodes. So we can't really group it with the special, but if you go to YouTube, we're actually going to make a special playlist for Super Smash Bros. Specials. It'll include our reaction celebration of Sora, as well as our Super Smash Bros. Special from earlier in the week, as well as even our earlier our first episode of the podcast, which was a Super Smash Bros. Episode, and we have at least one more coming relatively soon. And those will all be part of that playlist. So check those out. Actually, there is one other one we can throw in there. I believe it was our 20th episode, or was it our 10th?
Was it our April Fools?
Yeah, it was that one. But anyway, speaking of that episode, the topic of that episode was why Geno should be in Smash, and clearly we are devastated now that he's not.
Oh yeah.
Whatever will we
So
do?
so heartbroken.
I am not prepared to wait another 10 years for my favorite puppet to make it into a video game.
Yeah, that's true. So all I can say, like you guys should say your final words to the Geno fans, but this is my final words, Geno fans. I told you we were going to say goodbye to you and put an end to this today, and we have. My only regret is that Sakurai didn't have the foresight to not include Geno's Mii costume with Sephiroth, so that gave you that little extra hope for it to be crushed today when he showed you today that Geno was a Mii costume. That's the only regret I have. The only
No,
one.
Jules, what they should have done was they should have given the Sephiroth add-on, that should have been Doom Guy, and then have the Geno Mii costume revealed right where
Exactly.
Doom Guy's was.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Exactly. That would have been so funny. It would have been even more
It would have
sweeter.
been it would have been
It would
so
have been
funny.
sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah. Mateo, you want to go?
I'm just happy that Geno fans can be miserable. They'll be miserable for a while, but the problem is they'll be back, and when the next Smash Bros game comes out, you know damn well where they'll be, and we'll be here shutting them down and trying to silence them because there's no way Geno deserves to be in a Smash Bros game over actual Nintendo characters. So I'm ready for the backlash. I'm ready for the fight. We're just starting here. The World Podcast
Yeah.
just began. We're very early on here. We got a lot of energy to take on the Geno fandom. So, Geno fans,
Yeah.
we will be here.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. And I do want to extend a bit of an olive branch here, a bit more of a bit more of of course I was devastated that Goku wasn't in Super Smash Bros. But then again, Goku wasn't a realistic expectation to begin with. Hopefully we can enjoy the complete and final version of this game with the Mii costume, which is like, look, Waluigi didn't even make it into the game, right? Like, I hope that instead of us saying to the Geno fans, don't subscribe, don't whatever. Hopefully, they've learned their lessons, and now that they've renounced the ways of the puppet, they can resubscribe. And now that this fog has lifted, I would like to welcome them. I would like to welcome them as Smash fans back into the fold, because that puppet ain't happening.
Well, I will also just. Oh no, do you want to go for it?
No, I was just gonna say I remembered something, but if it's about Geno, then
yes,
keep it going.
I'm just gonna. Okay, so the last, I think I said that was my last thing. There's one last thing I wanted to say. Geno fans, it is possible that maybe one day you will have your dream in the next Smash Bros. Game if Sakurai realizes that he's gone so big that the only way to do something new is to go as small and obscure as possible. Put in the shittiest of the shit because everybody's expecting the best of the best, and that's the only way you're getting your character. And you better just take that as a win. So if you see in the next Smash trailer, when Smash 6 comes out, an announcement trailer that features not only Geno, but Plum from Mario Golf and the Warp Stone from Star Fox Adventures, you know what you've done, and you know you've won, and you should sit in your shed and eat it.
Savage.
Those be fighting words. But yeah, what are we gonna do for our outro now?
Well, that's something that I think we should just retire completely.
I think we need to find a new fandom to hate on.
No, I think we should switch it now to fandoms that we should back, and I think we should start ending every episode saying Microsoft make a new Banjo game.
I can get behind that. I can get behind Microsoft making a new Banjo game.
Phil had lunch.
Definitely.
Phil had lunch.
It's settled. I think that's how we should. I think that's how we should end things.
Phil had lunch.
Quickly though, you mentioned
if you're a Banjo fan, like and subscribe. Microsoft make a new Banjo game.
I forgot to mention the hub world is actually going through a little bit of a merger of sorts.
Oh yeah.
We are going to be picking up new Let's Play content from the Cosmosis Plays channel. Our dear friend Adriano uh, over at Cosmosis Plays was working on a Wind Waker randomizer series, and he had just announced also a Legend of Zelda Oracles randomizer, and he's going to be now posting those videos on the Hub World. So Adriano is going to be posting episodes as frequently as he can. Geno's going to be also posting his World Ends With You Let's Play. So there's going to
Mondays
be
and Thursdays.
a lot of Let's Play content coming to the Hub World in the
And
next few weeks.
speaking of Geno's Let's Play for The World Ends With You, if you're looking forward to our upcoming podcast, there actually is one coming very soon. That's going to kind of give you, I think Geno hinted a little bit in his first episode of the Hub World Ends With You. If you watched it when it launched on Tuesday, he hinted that there was a larger reason why he was playing it, and that podcast should be happening very soon. So look forward to that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the
Metroid
pipeline.
Dread is launching, so we're gonna have some Metroid stuff coming up. So yeah, there's some good DC fandom. Don't get me started.
We're putting in the work. We're seeing that we're getting noticed a little bit more out there on the YouTubes and everything. So if you're one of those new subscribers that just joined us a little while ago, or one of our tested and true fans that have been here right from the very beginning, we see you guys viewing our stuff out there. Thank you very much for supporting us, especially in these early days. Yeah, we're not even at 300 subscribers yet, but every single one of you guys matter. And it's been really really nice to see, like, we have our dedicated base, and we're looking to grow that hopefully. And keep your eyes peeled here on the Hub World, because we do have a lot of really cool stuff planned out.
Yep.
In the future.
And we'd like to remind you all as well, like, please, like, comment, let us know things you'd like to hear. We're always open to trying new topics or exploring new ideas. So, like, please, like, comment if you want to hear us talk about something. And also thank you to everybody who has been listening up until now. I know a couple of my students follow us quite religiously, and I'm so thankful for that, and giving them a shout out for listening and dedicating to that. But yeah, it's been a good ride, and I feel like we opened with Smash in our first episode, and I feel like Smash was the driving reason why we started this podcast in a way, because Smash is like something that's so speculation based, and like I think a lot of the Nintendo Direct hype culture that we've now grown into started with Smash. So it's the end of an era, but I'm thankful it ended with Sora and not Geno, because we could have been in a much worse timeline right now.
Yep. And it's not really like, for Smash at least, it's not a goodbye. It's more just like until next time, we need to take a break. And I think that's a good place to break it here as well. I know we said goodbye like 4 times already, but
yeah. So thank you for listening. Remember, Sora launches for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate October 18th. So look over that, and we'll see you next time.
Microsoft, make a new Banjo game.